Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and the latest video, which is a follow-on video. A little while ago I went through the Taschen little books of DC characters, and now we have, as we can see, the Marvel editions. With DC, they only did the 3 little books of. They did Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman, where, as you can see, they did at least double that with regards to the Marvel ones that they did. Just briefly, quickly going through before we do each one individually. We have a little book of the X-Men, little book of Iron Man, little book of the Incredible Hulk, little book of Fantastic Four, little book of Captain America, and finally little book of the Avengers. So that's all of those, and so we'll have a proper look through each individual one and go from there. Okay, see you in a mo. Right, okay, first up we have the Avengers. On the back there we've got a collage picture there. Not too sure of the artist on that, but just going flick through. Again, I'm going to go from the back to the front because it's just easy with these flexi bound books. Oh, there's that image there. Arthur Adams there. And goes up to fairly recent with Marvel's Civil War, so not too bad. Obviously a lot of bits and pieces that is printed probably in these editions appear in the other very large tome that Taschen did, which was a follow-on to the 75 years of DC when they did 75 years of Marvel, which is a big slipcase book that they did. I've got a copy of that as well. I'm lucky enough to have a copy of that as well. Got an edition of that, and yeah, excellent sort of pictures again. Covering all through the period of Avengers from the beginning up to the modern age. Classic covers there, classic series. A few of these I remember having back in the day. Most of the early stuff I have in reprint editions, solely because old comic books these days go for so much money. But yeah, excellent little book that really does sort of go through all the ages, and just a nice little flexi bound cover. That's the Avengers, and we'll go on to the next one, which I believe is Captain America. Okay, so next one up, Captain America. On the back there we've got a little bit of Alex Ross, and let's have a flick through, see what we have. Alex Ross there again, and again a couple of Alex Ross bits there. Goes up to the Ed Brubaker run on Captain America, which is an excellent run there. The Ed Brubaker, really good run of stories. Anniversary issue there. Oh, I remember getting that back in the day when that came out new. Okay, Captain America when in the sort of US agent guise. A lot of these I remember having from this period. The Mike Zeck period, when Mike Zeck was doing some of the covers, I believe that is. 251, no, 281, yeah, Mike Zeck, there we go. And then we've got bit of John Byrne up the top there. Got the John Byrne run still have that as actual comics. Captain America there from one of the 70s movies. And this is the great thing about some of these Taschen books as well, is it's not just comic book stuff in there. They will cover the movie stuff, TV stuff. If they're any TV related stuff, they'll cover merchandising as well. So it's great to see the comics along with the merchandising. All into the early stuff. Make Mine Marvel. Have that on a mug actually upstairs in the back room. Don't use the mug, just kept for purposes. That's used to have that edition of Tales of Suspense. I remember buying that. Excellent comic. Same again with a lot of the Captain America early stuff. I now have that as reprints, just solely. Oh, got the serials there. As I say, and I've got that as reprints now, more so than anything else, just because of space, and also how much to get a run of those is just so expensive. It's just easier and safer to read them as reprints. So that was the little book of Captain America. So next up should be the Fantastic Four. So next up we got one of my personal favourites, the Fantastic Four. Always been a big lover of the Fantastic Four as a comic entity, as a comic group. Huge fan of the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee era. Then of course the 5-year run that John Byrne did. Absolutely brilliant stories, artwork all round. Still have a lot of my original Fantastic Fours. They're ones that I've never parted with. I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, so I've kept those, and the Byrne run. Stuff in between I tend to have as the reprints in the Marvel Essentials, and literally just kept the ones that are as actual comics, ones that I hold very much dearer, which, as I say, are the Jack Kirby and the John Byrne runs. So let's go through here. What we got on the back, again, Alex Ross and his interpretation of Fantastic Four #1 on the back there. Again, starting from the back because it's just easier to go through and see what we've got. Got that image again. Goes very, very up to quite a modern run there on the FF. Up to the sort of Hickman, Jonathan Hickman FF run. A bit of Marvels there. Remember, had all these issues when they came out. Don't have them anymore. As I said, I've had to seriously cut down the collection, but I was collecting. We've got a bit of John Byrne there from his run. That's near the end of the run. Still John Byrne. The classic story there. That's one of my favourite stories. The In the Arms of the Octopus. That's a fantastic little story with a bit of a sad ending. His Galactus there was one of the best Galactus stories that they did. And then we have going into sort of the more sort of 70s ones there. As I say, with the sort of run from that sort of period, I've got those in the Essentials. And FF 100. Again, great quality of pictures, absolutely loads to look at. Silver Surfer there from issue 72. Jack Kirby's artwork when he did the photo collages, which then mixed standard art there that he used to do. Looks like a British annual there. Looks like a British annual there. So not just a bit of American comics there, they also do some of the comic books from other countries. More Jack Kirby. Fantastic cover that. One of the very first comics I ever bought was Fantastic Four 59 Doomsday, because of that cover. It was such a striking cover when I was a kid. When I bought it in the sort of mid 80s, it was nowhere near as probably as pricey as it is now. And we got a bit of Galactus there. into the early 30s in the numbers. Now we're getting into the 20s. So getting down, and then we're getting into the really early stuff now with issue number 5. So, yep, another great book. Again, you have to be so careful with these flexi-bound editions. The way they're packaged, they can crease very easily because of the nature of this flexi-bound material. So you really do have to be careful. But they are great little books. As I said earlier, a lot of the material you can probably find in the Marvel 75th edition. I'll try and put some pictures of other Taschen Marvels, including that 75th edition. I'll try and put that up here so you've got a picture of that. Okay, next I think we've got is the Incredible Hulk. Yep. Okay, here we go. Yep, we have the Incredible Hulk now. Oh, and again, Alex Ross. They obviously like their Alex Ross when they produce these little books. Okay, going up to we've got a year 2013 with the Hulk here. Yeah, Hulk Grey. Have the trade paperback of that. I have yet to get around to reading that, and must do. From the Tim Sale stuff that they did. I think they did Hulk Grey, Daredevil Yellow, Spider-Man Blue. They did a whole series of runs focusing on singular characters. Hulk 417, Gary Frank era. Obviously, one of the big writers is Peter David, who had a very long run on the Incredible Hulk. Bit of She-Hulk there, bit more Byrne, and a bit of Fantastic Four because of the Hulk. Then we got some Todd McFarlane there when he penciled Incredible Hulk. Bit of TV related Hulk there. Secret Wars, John Byrne's run in the 80s when he did, I think, only about 5 or 6 issues, which was a real shame that his run wasn't longer. I remember getting those from newsagents back in the day, when you could still find comic books like that in the newsagents, the actual American editions, when they used to be imported in and end up on the shelves. A bit of Rocket Raccoon there when he guest appeared in what number was that? 271. Yeah, 271. Had this era of Hulk as a run. Regret getting rid of that now. It's one of the ones I do regret getting rid of. So whenever that run comes up in a trade paperback, I'll be getting the trade paperback edition of that era's Hulk, because I do hate that I got rid of that now. Got that, if you've seen my video on Marvel Pocketbooks, you'll have seen that one. I still have that. She-Hulk #1. Rampaging Hulk magazine, really good. TV series, of course, classic TV series. People from my generation were literally brought up on that Lou Ferrigno TV series. Marvel Annual, British Annual there. I think I still have that upstairs. I think I still got my copy of that book. Where are we now? We're getting into the early part of that. Early part of the run. I think that was Harlan Ellison, I think. Did Hulk 140, if I remember correctly, during the Herb Trimp art days. But yes, Harlan Ellison script. Oh, there's Captain America 110. That was also one of the very first comics that I bought. I remember buying Captain America 110, literally again, because of that striking cover. Don't have it anymore. Hulk 102, where it all began for the Hulk. Because before that, as we can see, he was in Tales to Astonish with Ant-Man. Is it Ant-Man? Ant-Man? Giant Man? And then a little bit of Avengers and his appearances in other comics. There we go. And so that is the Incredible Hulk, little book of the Incredible Hulk. Up next, we should have a flick through the Iron Man. Right, up next, Iron Man. Okay, bit of more modern art there for Iron Man. That looks like the Extremist or Extremist that they did for Iron Man, which was a few years ago now. Covers the first movie there, so a little bit dated back, but still fairly modern in my view, as I've not read much of this era of Iron Man that we see there. So there we go, Civil War, so covers that, and then obviously the sort of New Avengers timeline period and that. Again, loads of artwork to see, loads of artwork and covers. A bit of War Machine there, just a minute ago, and a bit of Force Works, and the computerized graphic novel that they did a little while ago, some time ago now. Time does fly. A bit of Barry Windsor Smith. Some of the mini irons there. Looks like we're covering the Iron Wars here. Iron Wars 2 maybe, or first Iron Wars. It's one of the Iron Wars. When he had the Centurion armour, I think that was. The silver and red metallic one. Issue 200. Doom Quest. Brilliant storyline that, when Doctor Doom and Iron Man find themselves back in the times of King Arthur. I do love that story. Yeah, issue 149 and 150, which has been reprinted a couple of times in trade paperbacks. Power of Iron Man trade paperback, that's a very good trade paperback if you can get hold of that, with various stories in there. It's a good trade paperback. Space armor and the stealth armor. Always loved the different designs of the armor, and big fan of artist Bob Layton. I think he was the epitome of Iron Man armor artist. Really loved Bob Layton and his designs on Iron Man's armor. Tony Stark when he fell off the wagon. Bit of Secret Wars. Jim Rhodes takes over as Iron Man there. And then, of course, we've got Iron Man 2020. And we've got a bit of more Barry Windsor Smith there. Machine Man with Barry Windsor Smith. Got that series. Do like Barry Windsor Smith. And then we've got Demon in the Bottle. Classic storyline of Tony Stark and his struggle with alcoholism. Oh, can't speak tonight, but then not very good with English language even on the best of days. Anyway, you've come here to look at Iron Man and other things rather than my speech impediment. Classic image, that Bob Layton again. I think that will be showing the different styles of armour. Mego toy there. Thanos. Getting into the early stuff. Bit of Gene Colan by the looks of it. There we go. Yep. A lot of Gene Colan there, I think. Okay. And so that was Iron Man. So we've got one left, which is the X-Men. So, last but by no means least, we have Taschen's little book of X-Men. Let's see what we have on the back there. Oh, Alex Ross again. Yep, Alex Ross. So, let's start that. Let's see where that leads us. That's fairly recent, or fairly recent to what I remember. But oh, that dates. That's X-Men issue 400. Is it 400? Something like that. Oh, 500. Sorry, Uncanny X-Men issue 500. That's the trouble when you're out of the loop for some time with comics. It's easy to forget things. Astonishing X-Men, when that was out. X-Men Apocalypse the movie, X-Men the movie. Got some of the manga X-Men there that came out. Okay. Children of the Atom. Generation X, remember when that first came out with that chromium cover. Marvels. Yeah, that was a big storyline, big mini-series when it came out. Alex Ross. And of course we've got Barry Windsor Smith again there, the Weapon X storyline from the Marvel Comic Presents. X-Men's doing their relaunch with the multiple covers which all join together to create one giant gatefolded picture. If you put all the covers together, New Mutants. We've got a bit of Rob Liefeld there. And then we're probably sort of into the Andy Kubert and probably going to be hitting the Jim Lee sort of stuff soon. Excalibur. Inferno storyline. X Factor. Loved X Factor when it first started. The first sort of about 25 issues of X Factor were absolutely brilliant. There we go. X Factor #1. Life and Death 2 from 198. Bit of Barry Windsor Smith again. British reprints. Had those when they did Spider-Man and the X-Men together in British reprints for like 20 pence or 25 pence an issue back in the day. I've got a bit of Paul Smith, I was going to say. Yeah, Paul Smith. Just quickly reading that, make sure I don't get that wrong. The Uncanny X-Men trade paperback. Did the Phoenix Saga. Still have a copy of that. Oh, damn. Just caught the page there. Hopefully it didn't damage it. X-Men 150. God Loves Men Kills. That was very, very popular graphic novel original story. Brett Anderson. I love Brett Anderson's work. He's done a lot of good stuff on a series called Astro City with Alex Ross. The Wolverine miniseries. New Mutants. Getting into the Byrne era as we go from back to front. Classic images there. Dazzler. Of course, Phoenix Story. With that double-sized issue. Hellfire Club. Classic storylines. Murder World. And then we'll probably hit the sort of Dave Cockrum era when they did the relaunch. And Giant Size X-Men #1 when they relaunched the title. After many years being a reprint book for a while. And bit of Neil Adams there. English edition of Fantastic, which reprinted a lot of the early stuff. Oh, End of the X-Men. Had that edition with Juggernaut there, ripping the X-Men apart. Figuratively, not necessarily physically. And X-Men 28, Banshee, and Strikes the Sentinels. And issue number 13 with the Juggernaut. And getting to the beginning. Movie, and there we go. So there we go. That was the X-Men. Little book of the X-Men. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, leave a little comment. Let me know what are your favourite ones out of these books, or if you like, all of them, please hit the notification bell so you know when I post more videos, and I'll hope you'll be back and we'll watch more of my videos in the future. Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi guys, and welcome to the extra little bit at the end. Unfortunately, being a bit of a silly collector, and at the time when I was recording the other video parts of this video, I did wonder why there was only 6, and of course I realised that there was actually 7 little books of Marvel characters that Taschen did, and the other one was Spider-Man, and unfortunately I had left him on the shelf. So just quickly going to show you the one I missed, and which I've tagged on the end of the video here quickly, the little book of The Amazing Spider-Man. Nice sort of almost like an Alex Ross. It's not quite an Alex Ross, I don't think. It could be Steve Rude, possibly. We'll probably find out in the flicking through the book. So we're just going to go through quickly, because as I say, unfortunately I did forget this one. Don't know why, but that's it. There we go. So we've got that one there. Just have a quick look, see if we can see who the artist there is. Paulo Rivera, not an artist I'm familiar with, as I say, a little bit out of touch with modern day bits and pieces. Scarlet Spider, okay, what we got there? Okay, interesting picture there. Spider-Man 700. Okay. A few different ones there. Looks like a little bit of yep, Tim Sale there with Spider-Man blue, like they did with the Hulk grey and Daredevil yellow. Spider-Man 400, remember when that one came out with the Tombstone cover. Spider-Man 2099. Again, we'll start from the back quickly and move to the front. Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man launch there. Remember that coming out, and the various different colour covers, and some of them were pre-bagged. Yeah, some McFarlane bits those were. And the wedding issue annual number 21, that had 2 covers on it. There's a cover with him dressed as Spider-Man on the other variant cover. Weather Spider-Man there from number 1. Again, this sort of period we're hitting now with sort of mid to sort of late 200s, going into the 300s, and that is when I collected. That issue again, that picture again, I should say, of Spider-Man and the Uncanny X-Men, the English reprints. Spider-Man also appeared in the Marvel team-ups and some guest appearances in other books. Spider-Woman. Amazing Spider-Man trade paperback. I've seen one of those recently in a comic shop. They still have it, actually. I've been very tempted to pick that up, but I do have a lot of that Spider-Man stuff in reprint books in the essentials. So it's just whether or not I want to get a colour edition. Stan Lee there in the offices, and of course Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man TV series. Now, over here in the UK, the pilot episode of that TV series was released in the cinema, and that was one of the first films I think I saw at the cinema, was The Amazing Spider-Man TV pilot released in the cinema over here in the UK. Punisher's appearance in 129. Again, loads of images that Taschen produce. Classic remitter there. Period. We just passed. The animated series, the one everybody remembers the theme tune to. course, when Peter decided to give up Spider-Man for a short period only. Classic cover there with Doc Ock, hitting all the classic period of all the classic covers that we know and love. Getting into obviously Steve Ditko's run of Spider-Man, with all those fabulous villains being introduced. Literally every issue of Spider-Man introduced a classic villain. It was such a wonderful period of comics. Every issue was a gold mine when it came to a new villain in those early days. So there we have just a quick brief look through the one I forgot about, or stroke left on the shelf, The Amazing Spider-Man, the Little Book of, published by Taschen. Okay, thanks for sticking with the video. Sorry I missed that one out, but as I said, this will be tagged on at the end. Again, usual stuff. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more of my videos. And take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye for now.